Hi, we're from Pomona High School, and today we are going to finish up our discussions of Song of Myself by looking at canto number 52 by Walt Whitman. The first thing, I kind of want to go through this one line by line. Right? I think that this is my favorite canto. I don't know if you guys have noticed, I get my online name from this poem, right? So, the spotted hawk swoops by and accuses me. He complains of my gab and my loitering. I want to talk about gab first. What's gab?
Like gossip.
Gossip.
That's what I think.
That's what you think, you gossip. Okay, what else?
I think it's just when he says he complains of my gab and loitering, it's like he's extending something or he's taking too long with something.
Okay, so we've been, this poem is 52 cantos long. Maybe that's what he's referring to is, man, your poem's too long, dude. Like, chill out. Julian, what do you think, gab?
I don't know, maybe like also complaining, like he's complaining of his complaining.
He's complaining of his complaining.
Yeah.
Okay. Is gab, if you're somebody's going to gab, is that usually very serious talk?
No.
So now here's the question I have, right? If the spotted hawk is complaining of Whitman's gab and his loitering, has Whitman's poems just been idle chit-chat? They've been
I don't
trivial?
know. Maybe to the Hawks it is, but I feel like to Whitman it's like really serious.
It's really serious. What about to us? Should it be really serious? Did we feel like the stuff we learned in these poems was really life-breaking stuff, or what?
And I think that's up to interpretation, because the hawk could be interpreted as anyone who doesn't understand his poems or doesn't care to read them. But to us who taken the time to analyze them and make notes on them, we aren't the hawk. We are the other part, the one that doesn't think it's gab loitering, but thinks it's actually worthwhile knowledge that we are learning from this.
Okay. Jacob, what do you think?
Well, I think in line 2, it says that I too am untranslatable, as if he's saying that he's also not understood.
So maybe he's talking about, I mean, these are difficult poems, right? This is why we save them for second semester, and we use them to prepare us for this AP exam, right? We do difficult poems so that when we get to the test, the poems on the test will be easy. So you're thinking that maybe he is saying something about the difficulty of his poems. Okay, I like that. Let's go to stanza 2. I am not a bit tamed. I too am untranslatable. I sound my barbaric yawp over the roofs of the world. Let's talk about being tamed first. Controlled, all right.
Maybe civilized.
Civilized. Is Walt Whitman civilized in his poetry?
Depends on who's reading it.
Who's reading it?
And
Or
what
how you
your
interpret
idea
it.
of civilized is.
Okay, what your idea of civilized is. And remember in, what was it, stanza 2? In canto 2, what is he does what to his words?
He belches.
He belches his words, right? Is a belch a tamed
No.
action? No, right? And remember we talked about his lines and how long they are, right? And how just they break across the page. If we had put them like this in the blue book, they wouldn't have fit, right? They go across the page and they break conventions. And then we get to the barbaric yawp, which if we were watching Dead Poets Society, he would ask for an example of a barbaric yawp, right? What's a barbaric yawp?
A loud sound.
Great. Lana, can you give us?
I think I'm good.
You think? Fernando?
I actually can.
Can you yawp for Daniel? Yawp for us.
The quietest person.
Oh my goodness. Someone in my class, we need to yawp. Keegan, can you yawp for us? Nick?
What does that mean?
Yawp. Give us a barbaric yawp.
You just look it up and touch.
Oh. No. Wyatt, yawp for us. Levi? Levi, can you yawp?
I don't know what yawp.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, right? Yawp! Barbaric yawping. So this is like the most important line for me in the entirety of Song of Myself. So what does he mean? I sound my barbaric yawp over the roofs of the world.
Opinions.
His expression. Maybe.
Julian, go more.
Well, yeah, like what she said, like opinion, like. Yeah. His opinions.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking kind of like his gab or his belching.
Okay, yes, his belching. Is a yop and a belch very similar?
Yeah.
Yes, a yop is a very similar sound to a belch. It is unrestrained. And the other word that makes it unrestrained is
Barbaric.
barbaric, right? It is a barbaric yop, which he sounds over the rooftop of the world. So could this be his barbaric yop?
That's what I thought about.
Yeah.
Because this is like towards last of his cantos, and I think it's kind of like his last like words of knowledge for us before he dies. Kind of like his wisdom to the world, like an old man to a kid.
This is the last canto of Song of Myself. Yep, the last one, absolutely last one. I mean, there's more to Leaves of Grass, but in this particular poem of Song of Myself, this is the last one. So I would think he has something extra to say in this one. Julian, you got something?
I was like, I think he's like saying like his barbaric yop like refers to the hawk. I guess like he's gonna do it anyway, like no matter what the hawk accuses him of doing. I guess like obviously.
And that's very Walt Whitman-esque, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't care what other people think, unlike an Emily Dickinson or a Robert Frost or something like that. They care, but I am going to sound my barbaric yop, and I don't care what other people think about me. I don't care if I'm different, right? I'm going to do it. Jacob, can you chime in?
I guess when I think of like barbaric yop, I sort of think of like a war cry. Like maybe he's part of nature, so now he's fighting for survival against predators such as a hawk.
And I mean, this poem is very much a war cry. I would agree with you. I like that analogy. So we got the last scud of day holds back for me. It flings my likeness after the rest. And then we have it coaxes me to the vapor and the dust. I depart as air. I shake my white locks. Does he have white locks?
Yes.
We've seen the pictures?
Yeah.
Yes. I shake my white locks at the runaway sun. I effuse my flesh in eddies and drifted in lacy jags. I bequeath myself to the dirt to grow from the grass I love. If you want me again, look for me under your boot soles. Let's talk about the word effuse and the word bequeath. Let's start with effuse. What does this word mean?
It kind of means to escape, right?
Escape?
Because I know, like, in our chemistry class, it's like when gas shoots out of a tiny hole.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so to escape, good.
I think it's like mix, like
You effuse, you mix yourself in. All right. What other ideas for effuse? I effuse my flesh in eddies and drift it in lacy jags. What's
Maybe
happening?
Cast off.
Okay, maybe he casts off.
or it's like putting on. Like,
So we have cast off and we have putting on. Okay.
because he says and drift it in lacy jags.
Yeah, so he effuses his flesh in eddies, which seems to me more of a casting off, right? We're taking something away, and then it drifts in the lacy jags, which, a lacy jag is like the those parts of rivers where it slows down, right? Like they have that little part, and then it just stays there for a while. How about I bequeath? What is that? Bequeath.
Maybe, like, give himself up to, sort
Yeah.
of.
Okay. Lana, you want to talk more?
I don't know. I bequeath myself to the dirt to grow from the grass that I love. So it's like he's like, I know it's my time, kind of like. I think the last stanza or the last canto is just about him, like dying and leaving his like last parts
Yeah.
of wisdom of his life.
It's kind
Exactly.
of like, I have this image of him, like, running into the forest.
Oh, like he's just like, I'm done. I'm fine.
I'm out.
Run
Get out of here.
into the forest. Sure, but I agree with Lana. This is his goodbye death poem, right? This is it. I'm going, and I'm going to put myself into the ground. If you want to look for me, where should you look for him?
Under your
Under
boots.
my boot.
Under your boot soles. And what does he become?
Grass.
The grass.
Grass. And his poem is Leaves of Grass, right? So we start with this whole idea of Leaves of Grass, Song of Myself, and then at the end of the poem, he becomes the thing which we've been talking about for 52 cantos. And it's that whole cycle, right? Over and over and over and over, right? Let's go to the very last stanza, right? He says that he's going to be good health to you because he's in the grass and everything. Failing to fetch me at first, keep encouraged. Missing me one place, search another. I stop somewhere, waiting for you. Where is somewhere?
I think he's saying like we're all gonna end up like in the same place, like in the ground.
So you
he's
think
like-
the
he's like-
somewhere is the ground.
Yeah, like he's
I
like
stop
waiting,
somewhere, waiting for you, and that's the ground?
like death, like
Death.
I don't think
So,
it's like.
not at the ground, but death. Lana?
I don't think it's a specific place. I just think it's like when he says, I stop somewhere waiting for you, because it says, failing to fetch me at first, keep encouraged. So it's like if you don't find me, whatever, if you're like having, I feel like he's using himself as some kind of like good, I don't know, like something to help you if you're down or something. It says, I stopped somewhere waiting for you, or he's like looking in the grass, he's like waiting for you to catch up with him, kind of.
Okay. Like it. Fernando.
I take it more as like his knowledge, because this whole all the cantos and the songs of myself, just all of it is like just him giving to the world of what he has to do. So I think this is when it says a failing to fetch me at first, keep encouraged. Like if you don't understand the poem, or if you don't understand what he's trying to say to you at first, keep going. Just because you missed out on one part doesn't mean you won't get the next one, or doesn't mean you can't go back and relook at it. And
Okay.
I think when he says, I stop somewhere waiting for you, I think that's the moment when you finally realize what that poem means to you and your knowledge of it.
Wonderful. Jacob, what do you think? Somewhere.
I think somewhere refers to like, I guess, like a transition into being enlightened.
Ooh, I like
Like
that.
I think the stanzas he's referring to his students, like fail to fetch me at first, keep encouraged, like
Because in 47 he talks about he's a teacher.
Yeah.
He was a teacher for a while, and he liked to
Yeah.
think of himself as a teacher. Keep going.
like even though he's gone, he wants them to keep searching and keep finding a sense of enlightenment.
Throughout their lives.
Yes.
I like it. Daniel, somewhere?
I don't know. I kind of thought that was kind of more everywhere. instead of
Everywhere.
somewhere.
Not just somewhere.
'Cause,
Everywhere.
like, he says, missing me one place, search another. So like, if you don't find me here, I'll definitely be another place. Which is kind of like cryptic, but it's also kind of clear. Because if he becomes like the grass,
Mhm.
I think he kind of like becomes nature in a sense.
Which then he's part of everything, right? Because we have this grass, and it has this very, it's a large organism. It's like the aspen trees, right? In some way, it's all kind of connected together, right? My grass is connected to your grass, which is connected to your grass, right? It's everyone's grass. We all have grass. Aaron, can you feed us a couple questions? Or any ideas?
We have an idea regarding the number of the canto and how that filters with like a full year. There's 52 weeks in a year.
Oh, yeah.
We have
So it
that
comes
thought
around
we
full
have.
circle. Yeah.
We have how Whitman is reincarnated in the leaves of grass.
Mm-hmm. Like the poem "Leaves of Grass."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I like that.
Let's see. Hold on.
One more.
There's a joke going on.
No.
I should say.
Let's just finish it up. Thanks for joining us. That'll be all for Song of Myself. Bye.